Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking into something a bit different, a collection of experiences that, honestly, have genuinely haunted people.
Yeah, these are those moments where the world just twists, turns into something really unnerving.
Exactly. Leaving people with this lingering fear and just so many unanswered questions. And these aren't just made-up stories.
Yeah, that's the key.
These are personal accounts people shared online, things that really make you question your own sense of safety.
And that true element, or at least presented as true, that's what really ramps up the impact, isn't it? It hits something primal.
It does.
It challenges that feeling of security we take for granted in, like, everyday life. Reminds you how things can just suddenly become terrifyingly unpredictable.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how fragile things are. Our sense of reality, even.
Absolutely. That shattering of the ordinary.
Right. So let's get into the first one. This account, it starts really deceptively normal, mundane even, but it spirals pretty fast into a chilling home invasion scenario.
Okay.
So picture this. A guy living alone, just him and his golden retriever, Billy. He described Billy as having, like, a heart of gold and an impressive appetite.
Oh, sounds like a great dog.
Yeah. So it's Friday night. He's on the couch, sharing dinner with Billy, watching a movie. Totally normal stuff. He leaves his half-eaten plate on the table, decides to hop in the shower real quick. He expects Billy to do his usual thing, come curl up at the foot of the bed afterwards.
Right.
But the dog never shows up.
Oh, okay.
So the next morning, there's this creeping feeling something's wrong. He wakes up late, sees the leftovers from his plate are gone.
So he thinks Billy ate them.
Initially, yeah. That's what he assumes. But then he realizes Billy's not there. He calls him, searches the apartment, nothing. He starts calling around the neighborhood, searching outside. He's getting seriously worried now. He was really attached to this dog. Spent most of the afternoon looking, calling his name. No sign of Billy.
Man, that's awful.
He even calls the police, but, they basically say there's not much they can do for a missing pet.
Right, which is understandable, but totally unhelpful when you're panicking.
Yeah.
It's that shift, isn't it? From just, oh, where's the dog, to something is seriously wrong here.
Exactly that. You feel it before you know it.
Yeah.
So he goes back home, feeling sad, defeated. But when he walks back into his apartment, this is where it gets really chilling.
Okay.
He finds something on his nightstand. Something he hadn't noticed before. A small note.
Oh, no.
And on that note, just 7 words. Words he says he'll never, ever forget. Thanks for dinner. I like your dog.
Wow. Okay, that's deeply disturbing.
Right.
It's not just theft, it's a violation on a whole different level. Someone was in his safe space, watched him, ate his food,
Yeah.
and then took his companion.
Yeah.
The questions that must race through your mind. How long were they there? Hiding? Are they still nearby? It's pure psychological torment.
He completely lost it.
Yeah.
Ran out of the apartment, called the police again, totally frantic this time.
I bet.
They investigated, but found nothing. No forced entry, nothing. He put up posters for Billy everywhere, hoping against hope. Never saw Billy again. And he said he just couldn't. He hasn't had another dog since. That fear, that paranoia of knowing someone was right there, hidden, yeah, that stays with you.
Unbelievable. Just chills.
Okay, so from that violation of home, let's shift gears a bit. Different kind of vulnerability. This time, it's out on the open road. A simple drive home that takes a really terrifying detour.
Okay, let's hear it.
This one comes from someone driving home pretty late one night, coming back from a bar, hanging with friends. Lives on a quiet, dead-end street, so, not much traffic usually.
Right, usually pretty safe feeling.
But right away, something feels off. A car starts following him.
Uh-oh.
At first, he kind of brushes it off, maybe a coincidence. But nope, the car stays right behind him. Follows him, even when he turns onto his dead-end street.
Okay, that's definitely not a coincidence.
That's at all. Yeah. And then, the car pulls up right alongside him. Stops next to his car.
Oh, man. The tension there? You can just feel it. And the driver then motions for him to roll down his window. Like they need to tell him something important.
Exactly. He leans over, heart probably pounding, rolls down the passenger window. The driver just says, hey.
Just, hey.
Yeah. But then someone leans forward from the back seat of the other car. And this person says, no, that's not the guy.
Oh, okay.
And the driver super casually just goes, oh, forget it, man. Just go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Yeah. The guy driving's totally confused. Give him a look like, what are you talking about? And the driver just repeats, go to sleep. Then they just drive off. Leave him there.
Wow. That is bizarre and incredibly unnerving.
Totally.
But the really chilling part is the realization that hits him afterward, right?
It dawned on him later what probably happened.
He figures the driver likely had a gun, maybe right there on his lap, and they just had the wrong guy, mistook him for someone else entirely, someone their friend in the backseat had a serious problem with. And think about how close he was. He leaned right over towards that car. If he had been the guy, I mean, inches away from a potentially fatal mistake.
That's terrifying.
It really highlights how easily you can stumble into someone else's dangerous situation. Just collateral damage in waiting. A split second, a case of mistaken identity. That's all that saved him.
A seriously narrow escape. Caught in the middle of some conflict he knew nothing about. Just because he maybe looked like someone else or was in the wrong place makes you want to check your mirrors constantly, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Very unsettling.
Okay, let's move to another kind of vulnerable setting. Public spaces.
No.
Places we generally think are, reasonably safe.
Right.
This story involves a woman at a park. She's there with her friend and her friend's family. They were supposed to be jogging, but she admits they were mostly just people watching.
Fair enough.
She realizes she needs to use the restroom, hadn't had a chance earlier. So she heads over to the women's facilities. It's one of those with like 3 stalls. 2 are empty. She picks the first one.
Okay, standard park restroom situation.
As soon as she's, situated, pants around her knees, she hears shuffling from the very last stall. She can't see the person, obviously, but she sees their feet under the partition. And she describes them as big, clunky boots with dirty koi pants.
Koi pants, like khaki or cargo, maybe?
Yeah, probably something like that. Dirty work pants, maybe.
Yeah.
But then the shuffling stops right in front of her stall door. The person is just standing there, facing her door.
Okay, that's immediately creepy. Why stop there?
It gets worse.
Oh, boy.
The person starts trying to look through the little slit, the gap between the stall door and the wall.
No, that's a huge violation, especially there. That direct staring is designed to intimidate.
And she can see parts of the person through that crack. She sees a beard, brown eyes, and she mentions this awful smell, like sour, almost rotten.
Oh.
And it's clear. It's a man.
In the women's restroom, staring at her.
Yes. And then he actively starts trying to open her stall door, jiggling the handle, pushing on it, all while making direct eye contact with her through that tiny opening.
Oh my God. Her description of being so scared stiff, pants still down, unable to scream. I completely get that. Pure terror freezes you. It's predatory, weaponizing her vulnerability.
Absolutely. But just as he's really trying the door, she hears a voice from outside the restroom. Someone asks loud enough to hear, "What are you doing in the woman's bathroom?"
Thank goodness.
Right. The man immediately stops trying the door. He doesn't run, though. He just slowly walks out of the restroom.
Weird. Not even trying to make a quick escape.
So the woman, she quickly pulls herself together, bolts out the door, goes straight to her friend's mom, tells her everything. They call the police.
Did they catch him?
Well, describing it was hard. She only saw bits through the crack.
Yeah.
But here's the really disturbing part.
What?
The police told her they'd actually received other reports about the same guy, trying to open stall doors in women's restrooms, just staring at women while they were using the toilet.
Oh, that is deeply unsettling. So it wasn't random. It was a pattern. Predatory behavior. Escalating even.
Exactly. It confirms this wasn't just some one-off weirdo, but someone actively doing this repeatedly. They identified him as possibly being homeless, but he disappeared by the time they searched the park. He wasn't found that day.
Wow.
She was left feeling understandably grossed out and violated. It's a grim reminder that even seemingly safe public places aren't always safe, and some threats are just lurking.
Yeah, really makes you think twice. Horrible experience.
Okay, our 4th story. This one involves escalating terror, and it features 3 teenage boys, 14 years old. They were at a friend's house late one night, and this house is described as massive, like sort of a castle.
Okay, big isolated house, always a good setting for creepiness.
Right, so it's late, like 2 a.m. They just finished watching a movie. One of them, Joe, gets super hungry. Jack, the friend whose house it is, says there's not much easy food downstairs.
Teenage hunger strikes at 2 a.m. Sounds about right.
Totally. So they decide, hey, let's bike into town. It's maybe 10 minutes away. They'll grab some food. Their other friend, Pete, is crashed out asleep in one of the rooms. They just figure, let him sleep, and they head out.
Leaving Pete alone in the massive castle house. Got it.
They get on their bikes, head out, and it is pitch black. No street lamps for ages. Just moonlight as they're cycling down the long lane towards town.
So already a bit spooky, just the setting.
Yeah. But then they get into town and disappointment hits first.
Nothing's open, right?
Exactly. No shops open for food. So they have to turn back empty-handed, and they decide to take a different route back than the one they came on.
And that change of route feels significant somehow, like it opened a door.
It really seems that way.
Yeah.
As they're cycling back on this different path, Joe needs to stop. Tells him to pull over. He has to pee.
Okay.
So the narrator and Jack just wait on their bikes, and then the finish. And the narrator looks up at Jack, and Jack's face is just white. Pale as a ghost, he says. He asks Jack, what's wrong? But Jack doesn't answer. He's just staring, fixated on something across the road.
What is it?
The narrator looks over to see what Jack's staring at, and he says, just pure fear washed over him. Across the street, there's an elderly care home, and in one of the windows, there's an old man.
Okay. An old man in a window.
But the description, he says the look of the man's face was pure evil. His eyes were sunk into his head, and he had this satanic smile slowly spreading from ear to ear.
Oh, that's not just an old man. That's terrifying imagery.
Joe finishes up, comes over, sees the man too, and Joe immediately says, let's get the F out of here. That man's creepy as F. They basically have to drag Jack away, convince him to stop staring and get back on his bike.
The fact that all three saw him, that shared terror, makes it so much more potent. It wasn't just one person's imagination.
Right. But it gets worse. They start biking away fast. Maybe 5 seconds later, the narrator glances back. The man is still there, still staring right at them. And then he slowly lifts his hand and waves goodbye.
Oh, come on. That's actively acknowledging them. Aware. That's deeply chilling.
But the real climax, the absolute peak of terror, is still coming. They're hauling butt now, cycling as fast as they can down this lonely dirt path back towards the castle house.
I can imagine.
The narrator's in the lead. Suddenly, he slams on his brakes, skids to a stop. He sees something he says will stay with me to the grave.
What did he see?
Jack and Joe catch up. Like, why'd you stop? All the narrators can stammer out is, it's him in the window. He's in the room with Pete.
No, not possible.
They all look up at the house, at the window of the room where Pete is sleeping. And there he is. The same man from the nursing home window, standing inside the room, looking down at them, with the exact same horrifying smile, the same dead eyes.
Oh my God.
And then he waves again, just like before. Then he turns, walks away from the window. They see his shadow move across the curtains, and the light in the room clicks off.
I have goosebumps. That's genuinely terrifying. The impossibility of it.
The narrator describes just completely breaking down, trembling, crying.
Yeah.
All three of them are just paralyzed with fear.
I believe it. That shared visceral terror, it's seeing something that shatters your entire understanding of reality. That cognitive dissonance is profoundly scary.
They ditch their bikes,
Yeah.
sprint inside. Jack grabs an old 12-gauge shotgun his dad kept somewhere.
Adrenaline kicking in, fight or flight.
They burst into Pete's room, ready for who knows what, but there's no one there. The room is exactly how they left it. And Pete, still fast asleep, breathing normally, totally oblivious.
Just gone. Or was he ever really there?
They never found out. They never told their parents. They never even told Pete. They were left forever wondering, was it real? What did they actually see? The narrator ends it saying the experience will haunt me forever, asking, will I ever see that man again? Was he even alive? That unknown, that impossible thing they witnessed. That's the true horror.
Absolutely. The lack of explanation is sometimes the scariest part. Leaves you questioning everything.
Wow. Okay. One last story for today. We're shifting again, this time to the wilderness. A summer camping trip deep in northern Ontario, Canada.
Classic setting, woods, isolation.
Yeah. This involves a camp counselor, let's call him Sean, and his co-counselor, Mike. They're supervising a group of kids, about 10 years old.
Okay.
Standard camp stuff. They've canoed out to their campsites, set up the tents, cooked dinner over the fire, told ghost stories, made s'mores. Classic camping.
Sounds idyllic, actually.
Right. Around 9:30 p.m., the kids head off to their tents. The tents are a little walk from the shoreline, but still visible from the fire pit where the councils are. Kids are tucked in. Sean and Mike are just relaxing by the fire near the water, having a cigarette, unwinding before turning in themselves.
Okay, peaceful evening by the lake. What happens?
They're both just kind of staring out at the lake. It's pitch black out there. And then they notice it. A small light, slowly approaching their campsite from across the water. It's low, just slightly above the water level.
Who'd be out on the lake that late?
That's what they're wondering. They watch it for a few minutes as it gets closer and closer, just this single, small light moving silently towards them, building that low-level unease,
Definitely. Creates suspense.
As the light gets near, they realize it's mounted on the front of a kayak, and there's someone paddling it, heading straight for their camp.
Okay.
Now, they're trained for dealing with strangers out here, but the appearance of this person, it seriously rattles them. It's an old woman paddling the kayak. Looks maybe like she's in her 60s.
An old woman alone in a kayak at night. Strange, but maybe not terrifying yet.
Wait for the description. She has incredibly long wisps of gray hair, so long they were actually trailing in the water behind the kayak.
Okay, that's unusual.
Her skin, he says, looked like old leather. Her eyes were dead-looking and hard to see under all her wrinkles. She paddles right up, looks directly at Sean, and when she speaks, he realizes she's missing most of her teeth.
Yikes. Okay, the description is definitely ramping up the creep factor, like something out of a folktale.
Exactly. And then she asks her question. Looking right at Sean, pointing toward the kids' tents, she asks, "Are all of your children safe in bed?"
Oh, wow. No, that's incredibly unsettling. Not just her appearance, but that specific targeted question about the kids. Chilling.
Sean says he was absolutely shitting myself, his words. He managed to tell her, "Yeah, the kids are fine. You need to leave. Now."
Good reaction. Assertive despite the fear. Because that inquiry feels deeply sinister. It plays on that core protective instinct.
Her response, she just smiles this nearly toothless smile and says, "That's good. Just as expected for this time."
Just as expected? What does that even mean?
No idea. Then she turns her kayak around and paddles back out into the darkness, disappears as silently as she arrived.
Leaving them completely freaked out, I imagine.
Totally. He says they were legitimately creeped out, not just her, corpse-like vibe,
Right.
but specifically asking about the kids' safety. What was that about?
Right. The implication is awful.
They didn't know what else to do. They grabbed their hunting knives, checked on the kids again just to be sure, and then just sat by the fire feeling really exposed and uneasy.
I don't blame them. What else could you do?
But here's the kicker. The part that makes this truly profoundly creepy. About half an hour later, Sean gets a text message.
From who?
From another counselor. A female counselor leading a different group of kids, camped out across the lake.
Okay. What does she say?
The text basically said something like, "Hey, Sean, stop screwing with us. This isn't funny. My kids are really creeped out."
What? Why would she think Sean was messing with them?
Because one of her kids had apparently unzipped their tent to go pee outside a little while earlier, and they saw something near the shoreline.
Don't tell me.
They saw a woman with long hair standing with her arms open towards them.
No way! The same woman! Or entity. How is that possible? Across the lake?
Exactly. It confirms this wasn't just some weird old lady. It was something else. Something that could seemingly be in two places at once or move impossibly fast across the water. It elevates the whole thing into something deeply unsettling, possibly supernatural.
Wow. That confirmation text takes it to a whole new level. That ancient fear of something coming from the water or targeting children. It's incredibly disturbing.
Yeah. So the original creator of these stories, the YouTube channel Lazy Masquerade, he wrapped up this particular collection by thanking his listeners, mentioning his channel growth back then, and encouraging people to check out more. And he signed off with a line that feels pretty fitting after all this.
What was it?
Stay spooky, and remember the best things happen in the dark.
Appropriate, I guess. Chill and sign off.
So we've covered quite a range today, haven't we? A real spectrum of unsettling experiences. You've got the home invasion, the mistaken identity on the road, the public space violation, the impossible sighting, the wilderness encounter.
Yeah, a whole gamut of ways reality can just fray at the edges.
Each one leaves you with that lingering feeling of unease, right? That little shiver.
Absolutely. And if you think about the bigger picture, whether these things are purely psychological, terrifying coincidences, or maybe something else, they all hit that same nerve. They shatter our sense of the ordinary. They force the people involved, and us listening really, to confront just how fragile our feeling of safety is, how fragile our understanding of reality might be.
That's a really good point. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What do these stories really tell us about ourselves? About the fears that are kind of hiding just under the surface of everyday life?
That's the question, isn't it? What anxieties do these tap into? Something for you, the listener, to maybe think about.
Definitely something to think about. Well, thank you for joining us on this rather chilling deep dive into the unknown today.
Stay curious.
And maybe, stay a little bit aware of the shadows. Right. Until next time, take care.